but I got some questions for you, man. You already know what the first question I'm gonna hit you with. You know I'm gonna hit you with. What you think about uh the Wakanda Forever trailer? What you think about
Oh man, so with the Wakanda joint, I don't feel great about it, man. I just don't. I don't feel great about the at all. I don't think it's gonna. I think you hit the hammer on the nail with it in your podcast. I'm like, yo, he thinks exactly like how I thinks, man. Because I was saying to myself, I said, yo, what did I just watch? I saw it. I watched it about three or four. I watched it about four times back to back just to make sure, try to catch some Easter eggs in there, see what's going on. And I was never infatuated with them introducing name it Namor or Namer, however you say his name. I wasn't too hyped about them introducing him in this Black Panther movie. I do know that in the comics they did go at it, and they could the forces, those two nations collided. However, they didn't collide this early. It was not this early. So I'm thinking to myself, like, why are they allowing this to happen so early where they just bringing in a whole nother group of people? Why not just focus on Wakanda and um, focus on pretty much like what's happening inside of the nation? There's a lot of stories you can tell within there, man. There's a lot of ways you can go. They could have even used this Wakanda movie to introduce Storm. You know what I'm saying? They could have did a lot of things, man, but they chose to go this route. We're introducing a whole nother race group, which is, again, I can go further in on that one. But again, just in short, I didn't feel great about it. I don't know how the movie is going to be. I'm hoping that I'm wrong, but I'm looking at things like this symbolically. You know what I'm saying? And symbolically, it's not a good look for our people. Period.
it? Okay, so now that we got that out the way, which I'm glad you said that. So let's get to the crux. Do you feel like that clip that we saw would be cloaked as the benign neglect policy?
Yeah, I would definitely think so, because what they're doing is here is they're symbolically. If you take this back to what Joe Biden said, when he told Al Sharpton and the other black civil rights leaders that we're gonna as black people, he said, you guys are gonna have to learn to work with the Hispanics, right? Then, prior to that, it was the black and brown people type movements that was going on. You hear a lot of that. Okay, before the whole black and brown type of movements that they were pushing people of color. It was all about the people of color coming together. Now, and then later after that, again, they start pushing that black and brown, which the brown is like, well, who's the brown people? Where the brown can characterize as, the Latinos, it can characterize the Middle Easterns, the brown people. So now they're trying to put us in the same boat together, the black and brown people, right? And prior to that, they put us in the same ground, same category with the Asians, with the yellow people, right? Um, Once the Asians got their reparations and they are able to establish their status economically, and they have their own economy coming in, going in and going in and coming back out. They were able to do these things and it wasn't a problem. So they backed that out and said, okay, the Asians are all right now. And let's go on with the colored people, with the black and brown type of thing. And I think that's what they're doing with this Black Panther movie right here. They're using that because it was huge. Like the first Black Panther, it was a lot of gems in there. And I again looked at Black Panther symbolically. But before I get to that, what I'm saying is that with the benign neglect, they're saying, well, listen, if you guys are going to share the spotlight, you're going to share with the Latinos, which is what Joe Biden said. So they're demonstrating this within this movie. They're introducing a whole nother race group, but we all can tell this is not an Asian race group. This is not a Middle Eastern race group. We all know. You can look at this guy and tell. You know what I'm saying? From the Atlantis. So that's coming from the Atlantic Ocean. What's over near the Atlantic Ocean? You have Latin America. You know, and now you got the Pacific on the other side, but you got the Atlantic on the other side. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, well, uh, what they're trying to introduce is this whole ideology symbolically of the black and brown people merging together. I'm gonna tell you exactly how they're gonna do with that movie. That movie is not gonna be exactly what a lot of people think it's gonna be. They think it's gonna be an all-out war, blood for blood, with the type of Atlantis people or the underworld people against the Wakandans. It's not going to be like that throughout the whole movie. Actually, the one pulling the strings from behind the scenes is going to be Doctor Doom. That's a white guy. He's supposed to be one of the best masterminds, one of the strongest masterminds uh, in the Marvel universe. You know what I'm saying? And he's supposed to be the one that challenges or just as smart as the Illuminati type of Marvel people, right? So what he's going to be pulling the strings from behind, and what the Wakandans or the Africans and these underworld people, the Latino, the brown people, they're going to realize at some point, why are we fighting each other when it's not us? We've been played against each other all this time. Let's band together and fight the real oppressor, the real person, the real people, or the real person, the real villain. That's what's going to happen in that movie. But in between it, you're going to see the drama. You know what I'm saying? You're going to see a loss of male leadership in there. I don't know how long throughout the movie, but you're going to see it. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to see the women banding together, which is what they're trying to do now. It's so much symbolic stuff, man. They're trying to hit us with how the black women now have fallen into the trap. They've fallen into the trap of a lot of, and I think the black, of course, black men play a part in that too, but the black women today have fallen into the trap of this independent black women type of thing. And I know it's a lot of black women who don't go by this type of ideology. They don't live by it. They don't believe in it. They are against it. However, you have the situation where they're saying we're going to put this on the screen because this is what represents you, right? Like Black Lives Matter, all women rights, right? This is what you wanted. So women leading the way. We need the black men to be out of the way. And so you see it all throughout, so much symbolic nature being displayed. I think personally there's going to be a loss of black culture or African culture in that movie because it's going to be overshadowed by the coming of Neymar and his people, which is what happens today in the benign neglect, where they say, well, you know what? We know what you guys need. We know that you want and demand reparations in cash and economics, you know what I'm saying, with education. We know that you demanded in all these different aspects, but resources and the tools to take care of our resources, we know that you need it, but we ain't going to give it to you. In fact, we're going to give it to everybody else entering the continent, or entering this country, I should say. So they're doing the same thing with our movie. They're colonizing our movie, and they're saying, well, listen, well, they've been colonized it, but they're definitely taking a strong push towards colonizing this movie. And this is saying, well, listen, we're going to give you a little bit of what you want. You want to see the little African dance with them playing the drum? We'll give that to you because we just know that you Negroes just want the music, right? You just want the music, and you just want, you want the sports aspect. So we'll give that to you so you can see that and be proud of it. But at the end of the day, you guys are always going to be overshadowed, and we're going to overshadow you. We're going to give the props to these new group of people or these other group of people entering into this Marvel world. You know what I'm saying? And again, symbolically, they're doing the same thing today. They're giving the resources and tools and everything that we know, even the knowledge to it. Just even the knowledge to knowing to reaching these resources and tools, they're saying we're going to give it to the Latinos first, and you guys are just going to have to go read it in the book. But to the Latinos, we have seminars, we have Zoom meetings, we give it to them because they've pledged to be considered white on the census and all these things. So as long as they're considered white, we can always say that we are the dominant figure. We're here in America, we are the majority, you're the minority. But the majority, but we don't have to take care of the minority. Right? So we can always join forces against you guys, and we can always bring somebody in to replace you. They've done this before, Warren G. You've seen it with the whole five civilized tribes. You know what I'm saying? When black folks was here first, black folks have been here. You have the Clovis nations and the Folsom nations that have been here um uh uh centuries before. We talking about before the Bible was even written. You have black people here living here in what they call the Americas, right? When they exterminated our people, raped our women, restarted their nation over here, and then along with these other people coming over from um, from Asia and mixing with those offsprings, now coming along, now they're making the Chickasaw nations and all of that, and those people are the ones that betrayed us. They were not the same type of African. They were not the same type of black person that originated here. You know what I'm saying? So it was easy for them to betray us. And when they betrayed us, they said, well, we're going to make y'all as whites, we're going to make y'all civilized, right? We're going to show y'all the right way of doing things. These Europeans didn't want the burden, call themselves having a burden, the white man's burden of having a civilized blacks. They wanted to do it with the so-called natives. You know what I'm saying? So all in all, they tried to replace them, tried to replace us with them. And with these civilized tribes, and then with the $5 Indians, and they've tried to replace us time and time over, right? And they're trying to do it again. They tried to replace us in the 60s and 70s with the Asians, and it didn't work. But instead of being replaced 100%, they just being put on a social status above us. They got their money, they got their situations together. It took them about 20 years, and they rebuilt their China, they rebuilt their Japan, and all of that, and they good to go. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes down to it, um, uh, they're always consistently trying to replace us. And along with replacing us, they're trying to put us at war with other race groups as well. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, I think that when it all comes down to it, yes, it's so much symbolic um, things happening here, bro, that it's so thick, you can cut it with a knife. You can see it. It's there. What I say is, when it comes down to it, they always use us as a prime example to make sure other folks get over. So they're giving the tools, the resources, the knowledge, they're giving it all to all these other race groups, the secrets to obtaining wealth that we don't know about. We have to literally go into reading, and we have to go to a Dr. Claude Anderson's seminar. We have to listen to a Boyce Watkins. We got to go in and really, really dig in really hard to do these things, because it's just not available at our fingertips. So we either got to know of them, or if we don't know of these people, we got to know someone who know them. You know what I'm saying? As for these folks coming over from different islands, from different countries, they come over with that knowledge already. And then they begin to start saying that they built the nation, they'll help building a nation now, and all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? But this Black Panther Wakanda joint, man, is definitely, it's symbolic, and it's proven to be a lot, man. I've even seen that with the first movie. It was a huge one. Symbolically, it's crazy, and they're hitting us with the symbolics again. Symbolic victory is what they love to get, and they're going small amount of symbolic victory through the dance, through a little bit of the art, and so we can say we got a movie of our own. We got a second movie of our own. But I think you had said it in your podcast just the other day. You said, "Yo, look at Captain America. He had two movies before we seen a black superhero in it. Then when you look at Thor, they never had a black superhero in there. As a matter of fact, they killed him off. Thanos killed him off. Uh, but the other ones survive. Even with this new Thor movie, there's no black hero in it, right? You see black sidekicks with Valkyrie and everything, and she's representing the uh, the gay movements and the LG, the alphabet community. And they have a lot of that alphabet community in this new Thor movie. It's a lot of that in it, but there's no black culture in it. There's no black. They try to involve something in it when they show Mayat in that short film, short clip in there on that scene, on one of the scenes in this new Thor, where they supposed to be showing all the gods and all the goddesses, you know what I'm saying? But real heavy on the alphabet community, but they have Valkyrie there to kind of sort of represent diversity, but not diversity for the black man and black woman, but diversity for the gay community. So again, symbolic victories is what they continue to give us, but not anything, something that we can hold in our hands and build with for tomorrow and for the future.
Hey, you right about that Thor though. But remember that Captain America. Matter of fact, if we really do our due diligence, he introduced Bucky. You know that the other black dude just kind of was his sidekick. Bucky was his equal. Matter of fact, Bucky saved him. So it's like, when it comes to white on white, they don't mind saving each other. And then when you watched Black Panther, you notice that Shuri was smarter than Bruce Banner and smarter than Iron Man. But nobody really got that. I remember I was talking to this Latino brother, and he got it right away. He got it right away. He was like, "Hey, the T'Challa's sister was smarter than all of them." And I was like, "Yeah, but everybody didn't catch that because they didn't really play on her being smart like they do with Iron Man and like they do with Bruce Banner. Like these guys are so smart, but they focus on that. But with Shuri, they didn't." So my last question that I want to ask you, why is it, seeing that clip and seeing what's going on in the United States of America Incorporated, why is it people are still telling us we need to vote for Joe Biden? Why? After Joe Biden has already said we need to get with the Latinos, after everything that has taken place, even with that American Cholo dude that was talking madness about Tariq Nasheed, calling him a coon, and you're not even black, and you don't have a right to say that, but why is it we still have black folk out here talking about we want to vote for Biden after he has emboldened a lot of these Latinos to think that it's about their reparations now? Why is that? Why is it we still want to vote? We still are blind to see that Dr. Claude Anderson is right and they're trying to make us a permanent underclass. Why is it we don't want to see that?
Again, because we've been conditioned to believe that the Democratic Party is going to be for us as a black nation, and if we just vote one more time, we're closer to reaching the top of the mountain. That's the type of mentality that black people have. We've been conditioned to think that, to believe this way. Even when you take a look at it, they was the Latinos were being empowered even when Barack Obama was in office too. They always come in and say, "What about us?" They always come in and say that. And when they say, "What about us?" then it's like, well, let's give them, because now if we can these black folks are always going to revolt. You're always going to find some people in a bunch that's going to revolt. But these Latinos, they're going to flow with us. They're going to deny their black heritage, which a lot of them do. They deny that they have African descent in them. When the first Africans that migrated from Africa to Mexico, they were black. This is they already done this. This is before anybody heard of a European or Asian. There wasn't even a such thing at the time when these people migrated. So the first, you know what I'm saying, the first Mexicans or the first people from Peru, the first people from Brazil, all these people were black already. You know what I'm saying? So we have fallen into that type of ideology again, that everybody else is our friends. Let's just come together. Another reason is too, we put every other race group first. So because we do that first, we see them reaping the benefits, they get their rewards, and we say, well, what about us? We can still get our rewards. We voted for you. Why can't you give us our rewards? And they're saying, just vote. Just vote for this part. You got to have people that's into, this, you got to have certain representatives and things like that. It's a lot of things that go along with that. But we still have that ideology of just vote, just rock the vote. And if I may, one thing I would say, um, just pertaining to your question, is definitely because we haven't seen each other as one. We haven't come to a sense of unity. When you take a look at that first Black Panther movie, the first Black Panther movie, when you look at it symbolically, it's not just a movie just about black them sharing with the world, and it's not just, which was most Europeans get confused. It's not just about T'Challa moving up to the top and becoming something, and that a king that we've never seen before. It's the struggle, two black people struggling to see each other as one. It's the African versus the African American, or the native African versus the FBA. When you take a look at it, that's what it's all about. They say things throughout that movie, was all throughout that movie, and you can see it. When they say things, when T'Challa said, "Yo, I'm not the king of all people, I'm the king of Wakanda only." When you see Killmonger talk about, "Yo, bury me with my in the ocean with my ancestors," because they knew bondage was better than they knew freedom was better than slavery and all of that. Like when you seeing these things, when Killmonger, when he stepped to him, when you seen them at the same table, they're in the room together now, which is what me and you talk about a lot. They was in the room, closed doors. The native African and the diasporan African, right? The black, the African and the African American, and you see them in the room together. Now is the time for them to come together. But instead, what did the nation see Killmonger as? He was an enemy. He was a threat. We can't let him take the throne. But at the end of the movie, who did they give their resources and tools to? They gave it to the white folks. Remember, he said they're sharing their information. So you neglected giving it to a man that said he's going to revolutionize and put black people on top. This is what he said. He said all around the world. Killmonger was thinking all around the world, black people all around the world. We're going to supply them with the weapons, tools, resources, money, and everything to put them on top. But the native born Africans said, nah, we can't let, that's a madness. We can't let this man do that. So instead, what they do, they killed him off, fought him, killed him off, and then said, we're going to share our resources, tools, and everything with the world, because it's safer with the world than what it would be with a black revolutionist. This is happening to this day. So when we see that, we take a closer look as to why we we're continuing to vote for someone like Joe Biden. We continue to see Kamala Harris and give her a pass and say it's all about black girl magic. It's because we haven't come to the sense of the unity is what's the special thing about unity. The special thing about unity is the knowledge. Share our knowledge with every other group than ourselves. Therefore, we would keep voting for Joe Biden because he's going to continue to share the knowledge with everybody else because it makes us feel comfortable knowing that we're not alone. We've got to share this with everybody. And that's what they do. That movie, man, these two Black Panther movies, man, is done a number. I like the first Black Panther movie. I think it was dope. I cater more to Killmonger's side. To his views and everything he said, everything he wanted to do, I catered to him. At first it was I catered to T'Challa. But after seeing it twice, I said, nah, Killmonger was right. He had it right all along. But we've been conditioned to see it wrong. We've been conditioned to see him as he's doing everything wrong. And that type of nonsense, I wouldn't say nonsense, but that type of what the Europeans would view it as nonsense, or that type of militant type of mind, that will get us our reparations. But the T'Challa type of mind would not get it. It would not get us there. As a matter of fact, you take a look at T'Challa at the end of it, towards the middle part end, when he met with his ancestors, he said, y'all was wrong for leaving him. Yeah, all of y'all was wrong for leaving him and lying that we had family throughout the whole world, in which if we would have connected with that family, we would have been on top all of this time. But y'all was wrong. So now he's trying to right the wrong, but it's too late now. You see, so we do the same thing as Black people here in America. We haven't come to the sense and visibility of seeing the unity as knowledge. You have uh, other you have native born Africans that come over, or even just Africans from other islands and countries, and they come over and they become citizens and they begin to vote, and they they are continuing in that whole civil rights movement, NAACP movement type of thing, where again, let's get to the top of the mountain, because it's not just about Black people, it's about all people. That's what it's about. And Joe Biden is about that. Remember, he see us as predators. So if he sees us as predators, why would in animals and criminals, um, why would he give us anything? Not going to give us anything. The Democratic Party, Republican Party, all of them, independent, whoever, whatever type of party, they're not going to give anything to us. They're not going to give us what we demand. You know what I'm saying? They're just not. So we have to take it. But again, you have a lot of folks still walking around with the mountaintop type of ideology and mindset. So we're not gonna get what we deserve, brother. If we continue going about it this way, which is just vote your way to your liberation. Our liberation is economic power. It is wealth in the land. That's our liberation. It is freedom in the mentality, the mental freedom from mental slavery. You know, it's not just being able to sit at the counter with white people. It's not just being able to learn the same thing white people learn and be on the same level. Like, we can't look at white people and see them as the equality of equal of righteousness. We can't see them as that, right? We have to look at ourselves and see ourselves as being each other friends. We, as I said before, or as John Henry Clark said it better, we have no friends. The only friends we have is the ones we see when we look in the mirror. But again, we still got grandma and grandpa still walking around saying vote for Joe because he's going to get us to the mountaintop. And you still have the Stacey Abrams and Cory Booker's and all of them still walking around believing in the Democratic Party. You still have the Roland Martins, who is going to consistently push that Democratic Party and then be 1 second, you know what I'm saying, ideology. So people listen to that, and it's not a threat to the white supremacy, to white racism and white rage. It's not a threat to them. They got them exactly where they want them. So that's why we continue to vote for him, my brother, because of the fact of that fake ideology of making it to the mountaintop.
Ooh, Hey man, I'm gonna just keep saying the same thing. I feel like these tethers, these sambos, these cones, they have what is called infinity stones right now, and they don't want to let go of the power of the infinity stone because it makes them useful to the dominant society. Once we get reparations, and you notice I'm speaking into existence. Once we get it, those infinity stones ain't gonna mean anything, and they're not gonna be useful to the dominant society. Because now I feel, in my personal perspective, that a lot of the dominant society, they loathe waking up, going to the corporate plantation so they can tell black folk what to do. I'm a firm believer that just being at the corporate plantation as long as I've been there and watching all the office politics and all the stuff that go on, they need that because they have nothing else going on. And a lot of sometimes it's wealthy people that like a lot of drama too, because like you say, they like drama, we love theater. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it goes hand in hand. So I do appreciate you coming on, man, and dropping those jewels. Man, let everybody know where they can find you, man. Let everybody know where they can find you, my brother.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Right now, you can find me on. You could definitely find me on TikTok. No Compromise Media, No Compromise Media, and also on Instagram, No Compromise Media. But as soon as you type in No Compromise Media on Google, you're going to see it. It'll pop up on more than likely TikTok. You know what I'm saying? I'm real heavy on there, but No Compromise Media on Google. On Google, type it up. Also, you can hit me up on YouTube as well. No Compromise Media too, as well. No Compromise Media on both Instagram, uh, TikTok, and YouTube.
All right, man. Well, I do appreciate you, man, coming on, man. I just wanted to get you on. Uh, I think
But how, yo,
everybody need. I
your
think
warranty, but let
everybody.
me your warranty. Let me. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just wanted to ask you this one question. Like, have you seen from the first Black Panther? Did you did you see it in that way from that perspective of the the native African versus the diaspora? Like the
Yeah,
native black verse. Okay, I thought I was the
yeah.
only one seeing it that way.
No, and you could tell here, just real quick. You could tell because you have the diaspora, which is T'Challa, and then you have Killmonger, who was raised in Oakland. So now you have him, who's a foundational Black American, and people didn't really get that. But the reason why he was so angry and so pissed off, like Dr. Claude Anderson teaches us, is you have a right to be angry if your people's built this country. You know what the dominant society has done, and the diaspora, who's never grew up in the situations that we have, they're looking at it like, oh, the white people are so nice. The dominant society, they love us. No, they love what you can do for them. They love that you can entertain them. And we have that information. We're privy to it because we are from this country. That's why when you get a lot of uh I'm sorry, my Haitian brothers and sisters, my Jamaican brothers and sisters, my Nigerians, all of them. I've had to say several times, they come over here and they feel like they can tell us what to do and how great this country is, but you're allowed to come over here because you're not a threat. Killmonger was a threat because he was trying to disrupt the system, and he was trying to do what he felt was best in the best interest of his people. T'Challa was more on some Martin Luther King. So you had a more of a Malcolm X approach, and then you had more of a Martin Luther King approach. But T'Challa was more of from the diaspora, and then you got Killmonger that was homegrown FBA, foundational Black American or Native Blacks, as Dr. Claude Anderson calls it. So when you deal with that, people didn't look at it that way because people were so fascinated by everything else that they put on the screen. But you can always tell, and a lot of people didn't like Killmonger, but I did, because his thing was like, man, these people, they're never going to allow us to win. He, if you really think about it, real quick, to not T'Challa, but Killmonger and T'Challa's head security, the sister, I forgot her name, she was speaking in that language because she didn't trust that white dude. So they were, Killmonger and her were on the same page. She didn't want to invite him in. She didn't want to take him back to Wakanda. She wanted to leave him there to die. Like, nah, leave him there. Look, he don't need to know what we got going on. And if you think about it, there are some Africans that share our perspective because they know what the hell's going on. But there's a lot of people that are going to be Sambos and Coons because they want that Infinity Stone, my brother. So yeah, I share that same. I looked at it the same way. That's why when I saw that damn clip, I wasn't disappointed. I just was like, here we go. I didn't see Captain America bring in the Latinos. They didn't even do that with Aquaman in DC. They had Jason Momoa play Aquaman. They didn't talk about no Latinos, none of that. But only Marvel. That you do these things and people don't really watch it, and that's what you have to. That's why I watch it and I dissect it because a lot of it there's more to it than that. And I'm a big comic book junkie back when I was a kid. And Black Panther, people don't know, was the strong. They couldn't even kill him. They couldn't contain him because his powers were too great. And Captain Marvel was supposed to be a sister, not no damn woman. But that's that's neither here nor there. I'm just saying that we have to understand what it is. You know what I mean? And look at these agendas that they're pushing. Because when I saw that clip, I just was like, I knew this was gonna happen. I knew this was gonna happen, and I knew they was gonna do this. And what better way than to do it is because Chadwick Boseman, R.I.P. He's not there, but they could have flipped that story so many ways instead of ushering in some bullshit Atlantis. I don't care about no Atlantis. See, they trying to follow in DC. That Atlantis shit didn't even work with DC. With Aquaman, that shit was horrible. Why you think they ain't got no Aquaman 2? And before we end this space, think about it. Have you seen the new trailer for The Rock in DC called Black Adam? He's playing a black god. Because DC knows, okay, that Black Panther really did well. We need to go back to the roots too. And that's why they're doing what they're doing, because these writers, and they know what it is, man. They just push those narratives because Hollywood wants those narratives to be pushed. Just like I said about the abortion and all that other stuff. Why we don't see councilmen and Dianne Feinstein and all these political people in positions of powers protesting outside Planned Parenthood about abortion? But y'all want to go on TV and do that? Stop. Because y'all know what y'all doing. And y'all don't care about no abortion. Y'all don't care about none of that. So I just know this. We need to start paying more attention and being more focused, my brother. And I appreciate you coming on, man, and let everybody know where we can find you, man. And we're going to do it again next week, man. Same bad time, same bad channel, my brother.
No doubt, man. I appreciate you.
Nah, I appreciate you too, man. And you already know we're going to upload this to the YouTube, and I'm going to be retweeting so people can come back and listen to it, man. Have a safe weekend. Love, live life. You already know I say this, and like I say, man, just stay in your own lane, man. I already know you doing it. It's just more people, in my personal opinion, you need to be on talk radio, you need to be on satellite, and you low-key need to be on like Dame Dash Studios. Like, he got his own network. You need to be on something like that where people could check you out, man, because you're doing a lot of good things for the community. So, I got nothing but love and respect for you, my brother. And, man, be safe, and I'll holler at you next week.
All right, no doubt, my brother.
All right.
All right.